Hello, beautiful people. Have you ever considered being a digital nomad in Ireland? Ireland's one of the most expensive countries in the world. The weather might be not so great. Why would we even do this? The reality is there are lots of people working remotely in Ireland, and they might want to take this opportunity to explore their beautiful country while keeping the work down. But also, if you always wanted to visit Ireland and live a digital nomad lifestyle in there without breaking the bank, this video is for you because I tried it, and in this video I'm going to share with you my experience and my approach to this. First thing you need to do is to get outside of Dublin. Yes, the city has a lot of life going on, gigs, music, things to do, hikes around, cool bars and restaurants, but if you don't have a friend who's going to host you for a while, the cost of temporary accommodation in Dublin is beyond any digital nomad's budget. So I suggest we go to the west coast of Ireland, to the town called Bandon, known as the surf capital of Ireland. Even though Ireland might not be the first country that comes to your mind when you think of digital nomad hotspots, but trust me, Bandon has everything you need to work remotely and live like a local. How did I even find out about this town? Well, I went on a surf trip for a weekend when I lived in Dublin, and I had the best time of my life. So this time I decided to go there and see if I can live and work there as a digital nomad. Bandon is located on the west coast of Ireland in County Donegal, and it's known as the surf capital of the country. Its most famous surf spot, the Peak, offers some of the best waves in Ireland and attracts surfers from all over the world. And even if surfing is not your thing, there are plenty of other activities to do in Bandon, from hiking trails, water sports like kayaking, paddleboarding, and even cliff diving. And the town itself is not just about great outdoors. It has lively atmosphere, thrilling nightlife, variety of pubs, restaurants, cinema, even a water park. Like, if you happen to be there in summer months, you won't want to miss the Sea Session Surf and Music Festival or the Rory Gallagher International Tribute Festival. It has seasons as well, so in summer it's the peak and in winter it's low season. So I went there in summer as a tourist, kind of for a surf trip, and in winter to try the digital nomad lifestyle. So how do we get there? Getting to Bandon is quite easy. It's a 2.5 hours drive from both Dublin and Belfast. But if you don't drive, especially if you don't drive on the left, you may take public transportation. You may take a train or a bus to a nearby town and then transfer to a local bus or taxi to reach Bandon. I took a train from Dublin, from Drumcondra station directly to Sligo, and from Sligo, I took a bus to Bandon. That was super smooth. For accommodation, I recommend checking out Airbnb or just coming there and knocking the door of local lodges. That's actually easier than you might think. And the price for Airbnbs there will be much lower than in Dublin. I would say between 30 to 60 euro per night. You might initiate a long stay, and you'll definitely be surrounded by cool people such as surfers and some other digital nomads exploring the area. Now, once you've found a place to stay, you got your work set up, Wi-Fi, yada, 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 you might be thinking what to do in Bandon, right? So the biggest thing is definitely surfing. Whether you're a beginner or an advanced surfer, there are plenty of surf spots to choose from in Bandon. For beginners, there is a Russinola Beach, which is a great option with its long, gentle waves, sandy beach. Intermediate surfers usually go to Toon Strand, which has consistent waves and sandy bottom as well. And for advanced surfers, there is no better spot than the Peak, which offers some of the best waves in Ireland. Things you might consider when surfing on the west coast of Ireland in the Atlantic is that you'll have to fully cover. You'll have a wetsuit, that's for sure. That's not a joke. You'll have shoes, you'll have gloves, you'll have a hood. So the only spot of your body that will be in the water, touching the water, is your face. The water temperatures there go between 6 to 20 degrees, but I think 20 is more of an exception. When I went there in May, temperature was about 11, 13 degrees Celsius, And when I went there in February, it was like 6 degrees. The area is also super windy, so that adds to the cold. But the waves are amazing. The other cool thing to do in Bandon is hiking. There are plenty of trails. Wild Atlantic Way in general is one of the coolest places you can find. And honestly, I like it much better than all the hike trails I tried around Dublin. Right in town in Bandon, there is a really long promenade that gets into Tulin Strand and Fairy Bridge and the Sleeve Cliffs. You can find these trails on All Trails app or just follow the signs. There are plenty of them. Now, activity number 3. If you get really tired and frozen after hiking or surfing, you might want to check out the water park. It's open from April until the end of the season, around September, October. And it's a really cool place to relax. You can play volleyball in a warm pool, you can surf in a jacuzzi, go to a sauna, or hikes in the wind. If you want to take a break from surfing and work, hikes and pubs and restaurants, you might want to check out Mullamore Path. Mullamore is one of the most unique places. I would compare it to spots like Nazaré, Portugal, or even Mavericks. These are one of the biggest waves in the world, and you might watch professional big wave surfers going in there. And lots of surf competitions they have there. So what you can do, you can just take a bus and go there and hike and watch these biggest waves and the best surfers. Or you might even rent a bicycle and cycle along this beautiful coastline to Mullamore. Last but not least, my favorite activity in Bandon is sunset watching. Remember, it's the west coast. It means the sun sets in the Atlantic, which is stunning. So go there, relax, and enjoy the rough, wild nature. When you go to Bandon as a digital nomad or as a visitor, there's a few things that you want to keep in mind. First of all, it's super windy and the weather is unpredictable. It might rain for 5 minutes, then it might be sunny for 5 minutes, then it might rain again. So come prepared, come with the right outfit. Bring waterproof and windproof clothing. I'm not a big fan of sports clothing, so I usually wear the leather jacket, leather hat, leather pants, leather everything to make sure no wind and no rain has any chance. Another tip is plan to go out for breakfast or cook your own breakfast, because most lodges and Airbnbs where you'll be staying will have breakfast included, but that's so-called continental breakfast. So what you will be having would usually be just bread and jam and maybe some juice and coffee. If you're cool with that, no problem. I prefer a bit of a heavier and more filling breakfast. So I was really using kitchen or going breakfast to coffee shops. There are plenty of good ones. Another tip is about internet. So if you're working remotely, keep in mind there is no fiber coverage in County Donegal yet. So if you have a lot of video calls going on for work, you might want to get a SIM card with unlimited data and use that instead. Another tip is about getting there. So you can take a bus, you can drive, you can take a train. I prefer taking a train because Irish trains are amazing. They're super comfortable. There is Wi-Fi on board. You can just watch the scene while you're sitting there in having a table or doing some work along the way. But buying the tickets in the ticket machine at the station is twice more expensive than buying it online. There are some limitations on when you can buy these tickets. And if you're a last minute person like me and you didn't buy the ticket for the time you need, what I did instead, what the lady at the station advised to me, instead of buying a much more expensive ticket at the station, you might want to buy a ticket for another time at that day, but make sure you buy a flexible ticket. With the flexible ticket, you can travel on any train going that day. Saves you a lot of money. And if you have time, I recommend staying there not only on the weekday, but also staying there for the weekend to fully immerse yourself in the laid-back surfer lifestyle of Bandon, because there are lots of events, gigs happening in pubs and restaurants in Bandon, and there are pool parties going on. There are barbecues in surf hostels. You can take group surf lessons, which are a lot of fun. Check out Bandoran Surf Co and see what they offer. I love those guys. I even have the sticker on my laptop. And the last tip, there might not be co-working spaces in Bandon yet, but you can always work from the lobby of your lodge. A lot of people are doing that. Or check out the Bandon Community Center. They are actually known for having a good Wi-Fi. So yeah, that's it. Thanks for watching. I hope I inspired you to visit Bandon and explore the west coast of Ireland. That's definitely a cool place to be. If you're not afraid of some wind and rain, tell me how it goes and tell me that I'm not the only crazy one doing that. Keep living the dream.